That's right. And welcome everyone to this Super Bowl 56 preview show. I'm Mike Langer, joined by Ryan Silver, the Silver Lining. We're live here on ColorCast. We're live on YouTube. Over the next hour plus, we're going to go through this entire Rams-Bengals matchup. We're going to go through the matchup. We're going to go through the betting. We're going to go through the Super Bowl weekend, the festivities, the traditions. We're going to get people on the hot seat that want to join. As soon as you're ready to join, just hit the request and we will get you on. And every time you join the hot seat, we will ask you two very simple questions. We just want your Super Bowl memory, your favorite Super Bowl memory, and who do you have in Super Bowl 56, the Rams or the Bengals, and why? So I guess 2.5 questions at that. But Ryan, how's it going? Bittersweet? Why bittersweet? And sorry, Ryan, I think you're muted on the YouTube, by the way. So I'll unmute you. Yeah.
How about now? Could you hear me now?
I could hear you the whole time. It's just that I don't know if our audience on YouTube was able to hear you, but now they can.
I think I fixed it.
All right, go ahead.
I think I fixed it.
Carry on.
So, it's a bittersweet moment, football, for Super Bowl Sunday, because, yeah, it's the Super Bowl. Everybody's stoked. Everybody's going to talk about it. We're going to be talking about it with people for weeks. It's awesome, but it's the last game of football this season, Mike. It's almost over. I don't like football being gone. I
agree with you.
I want it now. I want it always.
I know.
Feed me that football, Mike. And it just means it's the last game of the season, and that's why it's always a little bittersweet for me, Mike. It's always a bittersweet for me.
Well, Ryan, there is arena football and there is CFL football, so I mean, at least there's that. And then there's also the draft and the combine and free agency and all that. But we'll get to that obviously after. Right off the hop, we're getting a hot seat request from Sports Junkie 812, also known as the host of the Loro Sports podcast. We'll get him on right here for 5 minutes. And once again, as we will for all of our hot seat guests, your favorite Super Bowl memory and also your pick for this Rams versus Bengals Super Bowl. Sports Junkie, Antonio. How's it going, Antonio? We're doing fantastic, and just welcome in, obviously, to Zach, Patrick, user Ivanka, number one dad, everyone that's in the audience. And yeah, so you know the drill there. Sports Junkie, the floor is yours. Your favorite Super Bowl memory, story, whatever it may be, and then your pick for this Super Bowl 56.
Ugh. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
I totally agree with you on that last point there, Sports Junkie, but I'm going to challenge you on the previous point. I went back and looked at this because, believe it or not, Ryan, this is more, I guess, believe it or not for you, because you know how much I really don't like Tom Brady, which I guess I don't hate him as much now that he's retired and I don't have to watch him every Sunday. But I will say this.
Predictable.
I will say that I am more impressed by Brady and the Patriots, what they did in the previous Super Bowl against the Seahawks, or 2 years before against the Seahawks, because they actually had to come back and drive down the field against the Legion of Boom and score a game-winning touchdown. Whereas against the Falcons, that was just the Falcons just literally collapsing.
Oh, the Atlanta Falcons had one of the top, what was it, like the third-ranked defense in the league that year? Something ridiculous. So it was impressive too, Mike.
But just all they had to do was take 2 knees and kick a field goal, go up by 10, and they win the Super Bowl. But instead, penalty, sack, penalty, whatever the sequence was, and they go out of field goal range, have to punt, and we know the rest.
It was heartbreaking. I'm sorry, Sports Junkie's still on the mic. I mean, it was great. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Look, Sports Junkie. Okay, how about you have a lot of Super Bowl memories? So how about your second favorite Super Bowl memory as a Patriots fan? Because you have a whole bunch.
Starting to see a trend here.
Yes. The big Malcolm Butler interception, which, I mean, again, you could also say the Seahawks could have run the ball and that wouldn't have happened. But I will give credit to Malcolm Butler and the Patriots for upsetting the Legion of Boom in that Super Bowl. And yeah, just Sports Junkie. Any other Super Bowl traditions that you have on Super Bowl Sunday every year? Where are you going to be watching this Sunday's game? And what will you be eating, drinking? Let us know. Ooh.
Woohoo. That's awesome.
So you gave us your
man.
score.
We're gonna do the same thing here too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And just real quick before you get off the hot seat here, by the way, thank you for joining us, Sports Junkie. We got Zach coming up on the hot seat next. Just before we get you off the hot seat, you gave us your pick. You gave us your Super Bowl MVP. What's the score? How do the Rams win? Ooh.
Okay,
I like that.
Another last play of the game victory in these playoffs, eh? That's certainly exciting.
It would not surprise me one bit. Once again, thank you so much, Sports Junkie, for joining the hot seat. And be sure to tune in to his cast, but also our cast, because we'll be calling the Super Bowl as well. But thank you, Sports Junkie. And yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate you for joining the show. And now we're going to get Zach on the hot seat.
Hold on, Mike.
Okay.
Whoa, hold on.
Okay, we'll hold on.
So I want to point out something funny here, is that I had 2 things I was considering for my favorite moments, Super Bowl moments. One was the entire, what would it be now?
The perfect Dolphins 72 season?
No, I wasn't alive for that. No. I'm talking about the first 47 minutes and 52 seconds of the Atlanta-New England game. I would say that's one of my favorite moments, where Atlanta was absolutely pulverizing New England. But no, my actual favorite Super Bowl moment overall, hilariously, not to take a shot at Sports Junkie here, but they're both anti-New England ones by chance, is the helmet catch. I don't know how you get a better play than that. I think it's my favorite play in all football history, and the fact that it came during the Super Bowl and led to the game-winning touchdown is just so so perfect. You couldn't script it better from the gods. So yeah, absolutely, by far the helmet catch. Eli Manning should have been called in in the grass. Doesn't, somehow escapes it, heaves it down the field off his back foot. Freaking looks like he's just heaving a prayer. And of course, what's his name? Tyree? Yeah.
David Tyree, yeah.
Freaking, thank you. Tyree coming down with, my goodness, what a miracle play. That is my favorite Super Bowl moment. We'll talk about predictions afterwards.
Yes.
But, just to follow up the 2 New England favorite moments, I had to go with the. Sorry, buddy, but I got the little opposite on you on that one. Fins up, though.
That's all good. Look, we're going to get I'll share my favorite moment later, but I want to get Zach Cantrell, and then after Patrick Rush onto the hot seat. So let's get Zach over here onto the hot seat for 5 minutes. I think Zach is also a Patriots fan. Just to make sure you're forewarned there, Ryan. Yeah.
I'm asking for it right now. I'm asking for it, Mike.
Oh yeah, Zach, you're a Patriots fan. Remind us, right? Oh. Okay. For some reason, I thought you were a Patriots fan, but anyway, go ahead.
That's offensive.
Yeah, true.
How?
My apologies.
That's funny. Mm-hmm. You're correct. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Was it? Mhm.
I'm so bittersweet about that Super
Great
Bowl.
one.
We welcome in Randy, by the way, on our YouTube audience here. The NFL awards are actually going on right now, and Jamar Chase was named Rookie of the Year. And Micah Parsons was Defensive Rookie of the Year. We'll get to some of those as well. But yes, we're certainly keeping up to date with the NFL awards. Now, Zach, I will say that Super Bowl, I really, really wish that the Cardinals could have won that. I really wanted the Cardinals to win that. That would have been their first Super Bowl in franchise history. But you mentioned it, that touchdown to Santonio Holmes, that pick six by James Harrison going 98 yards to the house. Just the Cardinals fans, I'm sure, will never get over that. But yeah, so now what are your thoughts on this matchup between the Rams and the Bengals?
Mm. It was great. What a line.
I'm good. Okay, so Zach, if you are Zach Taylor or Brian Callahan, one thing you did not mention is the fact that Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times in the Titans game, and he only got sacked once against the Chiefs, surprisingly. But how do you handle Aaron Donald, Von Miller, and Leonard Floyd if you are in Zach Taylor or Brian Callahan's position? That's the only way to do it, I guess, if you're the Bengals, and it worked against the Chiefs, especially on that long play to P. Ryan. So, hey, look, Zach, your time expires here on the hot seat. Thank you so much for joining us, and yeah, just you close it out. 15 seconds, close it out.
Oh,
Thank you for
thanks for being
joining
here.
us here, Zach. As now we're going to get to Patrick, who has requested the hot seat. Let's get Patrick on the hot seat.
Wow. Only 500 people of the LA. Again, they
That
don't
is
really
kind of-
have the
that-
home field advantage.
That is sad. Yeah,
They don't. It's like, what a wasted opportunity for a home field advantage. How you doing there, buddy?
Yeah, it was yesterday. Light him up. Yeah, that's all. That's all good. That's all good, Pat.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I can't stop laughing because your favorite Super Bowl memory has nothing to do with the Super Bowl because you're a Lions fan. And that is just
we
so
don't have to
sad.
rub it in his face,
I'm
Ryan.
so
We don't have
sorry.
to, like, come on.
I'm sorry.
Come on, like,
it
Ryan,
just I'm not
like,
trying
I'm a
to.
Cowboys fan and you're a Dolphins fan. Like, between the three of us,
Yeah,
our franchises
I-
have as many Super Bowls as the three of us have in the last 20 years.
Listen, I've never seen my boys make it to the Super Bowl, so I feel your pain. It's like effectively the same thing.
Exactly.
Ooh.
And I honestly,
Ooh,
I
stabby,
really,
stabby there.
I think,
I didn't know that.
and I will say this, Patrick, I don't know if I ever told you this, but as a Cowboys fan, I do believe that Barry Sanders is better than Emmitt Smith. As a Cowboys fan, I'm saying that.
Wow.
And
wow, that's gonna go on YouTube there. That's some blasphemy there, Mike.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk about that later. But I first want to hear, Patrick, your thoughts on this game, your picks, your predictions. What are you betting on? What's the dumbest thing that you're betting on? Go ahead. Floor is yours. I agree. I love it.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
snaps. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What will it mean to you as a Lions fan, or what will it not mean to you as a Lions fan if Matthew Stafford wins as a Ram in his first year as a Ram?
Oh, this guy's funny. I love it. I'm not a jealous ex.
Yeah,
That's
Patrick's great. Patrick's great.
Oh, that's good, man.
And also, Stafford
That's
never hosts like this was the first. These were the first two home playoff games that Stafford has ever played in his career. Because in Detroit, like you said, those three playoff games were on the road. So already that was a position arguably to fail. So I don't know when the Detroit Lions are going to play in the playoffs next, but if they do, I hope that they are at home and I hope that they win, unless it's against the Dallas Cowboys. I'll let you close it out on that note, Patrick. I don't know if you'll take over. The Cowboys is America's team. Our pleasure. And thank you for joining. And you know what? I will say go Lions for your sake indeed, because I think the entire NFL and all neutral NFL fans, unless they're in the NFC North, I think have a soft spot for the Lions and would love to see them be better than they are. As we welcome in Blake to the cast as well. And I want to get to some chats here before we talk about some fun facts around the Super Bowl. What about the Icky Shuffle?
Well,
yes,
Mike. I wanted to ask everybody, what do you think the line is on Patrick's life? Because he says that he likes to bet on himself. So what is the line on betting on yourself there, Patrick? I'd like to know. What's the over/under?
Yeah, leave that in the chat, please, Patrick. But yeah, just getting to some other chats here as well. Yeah, the Randall L. only touchdown pass for the Steelers. I think that was back in the Lions, the Detroit Super Bowl 40. I want to say back in 2005, 2006. And then Barry Sanders, better than Emmitt Smith. Like, yeah, just to me, like real quick, I don't want to get into that whole discussion now, but
yeah, this was shocking.
But all I'm saying is that look, Emmitt Smith is the more productive running back, but I believe that talent trumps productivity. And if you are talented but were slowed down by injury, or maybe didn't play as long because you weren't in as good of a situation, then that will limit your productivity. And that's why I think that those types of players deserve as much, if not more, appreciation than the most productive players. But that's
interesting.
Another side discussion, which we can have another time. But Ryan, I'm going to give you some random facts, and I'm going to give you guys some random interesting facts about the Super Bowl. All right. So
I love some random facts. Hit me.
Coming right up. So first time, this Super Bowl is the first time since the Super Bowl merger that the 1, 2, and 3 seeds from either conference have not made the Super Bowl. So again, this is the first time in the Super Bowl era that neither 1, 2, nor 3 seeds in either conference have made it to the Super Bowl. This is also
that is shocking.
Yes. And honestly, like it feels like it happens in hockey quite often. But yeah, so I'm going to ask you about that in a second, because I have a couple other fun ones here for you guys, for you, Ryan, and for you guys in the chat. This will be the first Super Bowl without Tom Brady, the New England Patriots, or Patrick Mahomes since 2015. I think that's kind of a given. This is also the first time we have back-to-back years of host teams playing in the Super Bowl, of course. And now no team had a worse record over at least a 2-year period and made the Super Bowl as quickly as the Bengals did. The Bengals in the last 2 seasons, or sorry, I want to say, 2019, 2020, previous 2 seasons, were 6-25-1, and then went 10-7 this year and made the Super Bowl. So I ask you, Ryan, and our audience, which of those fun facts about the Super Bowl intrigues you the most?
I think a similar discussion derives from both the first and that last fact there. The Mahomes one is like, okay, all right, I know we have dynasty teams; they make it more often. Okay, but not having a team in the first, second, or third seed, it gets juicy because of the change they made this year. That's what really intrigues me about that stat, and the fact that a team like the Bengals made the playoffs, and is going to the Super Bowl because of it. So I think they kind of both. I know I'm cheating by kind of picking both there, but Mike, like, how much is the fact that we have another team making the playoffs and the second seed not getting the bye week factor into the fact that we don't have a first, second, or third seed? And I think it has to be monumental. Right?
I don't think that's. I don't think that's really an excuse, because Tampa just completely wiped Philly off the field, and then in the other conference, the Chiefs just wiped the Steelers off the field. So I don't think that really.
Yeah, but the Chiefs, Well, but the Chiefs didn't get a bye week. That's the note.
I
Like, that's a
understand,
notable thing,
but
right?
it was kind of a bye week given that they crushed the Steelers and that the Bucks crushed the Eagles. So it was like
Well, but
kind of a bye
but
week.
also
But they lost Tristan Wirfs.
the Bengals would have had, but the Bengals would have had to play the top seed that wasn't on a bye week otherwise, right? So like, I think it's interesting that it changes the matchups and gives the opportunity for these Cinderella stories to happen more often. The more teams there are, the less often you'll have a first, second, or third team just make the Super Bowl. That's just basic knowledge here. It just gives more opportunity for other teams to make it instead. But the fact that it happened for the first time and it was just the first year that this merge, like this change in the rulings, again, I don't think this is a bad change. It just makes it very juicy. What does it say about regular season records? What does it say about pushing for the bye week in the number one spot? I suppose neither team, obviously, that had the bye week made it this time, and Tennessee fell flat on their face too. But heck, so did Green Bay. Yeah, I think it's just very, very, very interesting. And I think it sparks an interesting conversation I'm sure that other people have some comments on that. I'd love to hear them.
Yeah, I honestly I like it too. I think it's great for the league to have parity and to have balance and to have anything happen on any given Sunday, literally, and not just have that be a saying and have that happen more often. So yeah, like I definitely like the new setup of the extra playoff team. Even okay, maybe at the expense of like you'll have a couple of blowouts in the first round, like sure, whatever, but it's still more football. It's still more relevant football. And it's you never know. Sometimes you could have that seventh seed be better than the Eagles and the Steelers showed this postseason. So it could have been the Chargers in the AFC. It could have been the Chargers that squeaked in and gave
that's true
and gave the Chiefs a run for their money. So who knows? But okay. So
that's
now
true.
Ryan,
I think the Chargers had a chance to beat the Bengals if they played them in that first round.
Maybe
much more so over than the Raiders did.
Right? Yes and no. They did go into Cincinnati and beat the Bengals pretty well earlier in the season, sure. But who knows? Who knows? Either way, though, let's focus right back to this year's Super Bowl again. We're going to talk about each position.
Hold on. I got a surprise for you, Mike.
Let's get
I do. I have some fun facts for you.
Ooh, okay.
Matthew Stafford.
Not so fast.
So there have been 5 first-round picks that took over 100 regular season games before they made their first Super Bowl appearance.
I got this.
All 4 of them before Matthew Stafford won the Super Bowl.
Let me guess who they are. Do you know who they are? I know Peyton Manning is one of them.
Yeah, has to be.
Peyton Manning has to be one of them. First round picks, not first overall picks, right?
No, first overall picks.
First overall picks. Okay. Aikman,
yeah.
Troy Aikman.
I actually don't know who the 4 are. I just know the stats.
Well, come on. You can't bring us that stat and not look.
All right. I didn't think you were going to start guessing. Boo. Bad Ryan.
That's okay. If someone in the chat wants to look them up, then, that will.
Yeah, if somebody could let us know. I fell flat on this
appreciated. That's okay.
Another fun fact.
Go for it.
On the other hand, for Joe Burrow, he is the first. This is going to be the second time in NFL history that a second-year quarterback will be making the Super Bowl. Oh, sorry, that's not true. I lied. All right, I'm
okay. 0 for 2. 0 for 2.
Properly. I can't read properly apparently here. Got my notes here and I'm misreading them. It's the first time since Russell Wilson that a second-year quarterback will be making the Super Bowl. Burrow is going to be 25 years old and 65 days old when he plays the Super Bowl. Russell Wilson was that exact same age to the day. Fun fact.
What about Colin Kaepernick?
This would not come after Russell Wilson in 2013.
I'm just saying, like, he was also, I think, a second-year player to reach the Super Bowl also, just in comparison.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's there wasn't only 2. I'm just saying this is the first person since Russell Wilson.
Gotcha. Okay.
And they would be the same. They are the exact same age to the day when they played the Super Bowl.
Okay, and by the way, Mahomes made it to the Super Bowl a lot quicker than 100 games. So because he only made it in his second year or third year. Yeah, because he sat out as a rookie.
When did Joe Flacco get picked?
He was not a first. He was 2008 in I think in the 15s, like in the teens.
Okay, so he was like a Tom Brady pick, right? All right, fair.
Not a Tom Brady pick. He was he was a first round pick. He was just,
Oh, 15th.
in the
Gotcha.
teens.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I thought you were in the
overall.
15th round. Gotcha.
No. 15 rounds. It's not baseball, but anyway. So speaking of quarterbacks, I do want to talk about these two quarterbacks, Matthew Stafford, Joe Burrow. We had a couple of our guests mention them off the top, and I want to get a little bit more into them right now, Ryan. So I think we're a little bit more in agreement of this, which is why if someone in the if our audience disagrees, and I want to hear it, but who is the better story, or in other words, who are you cheering for more and why? Joe Burrow or Matthew Stafford?
I am cheering for Matthew Stafford for a few reasons. One, I read you that stat on how long he's been in the game. And he got his first playoff win this year, let alone going to the Super Bowl. What a story it's been for him having to deal with, no offense to our buddy that was on the stream earlier, but having to live in Detroit and deal with that franchise his whole career. I'm so happy he finally got out of it and immediately had the opportunity to win his first Super Bowl. On top of that, not only is he a player that had to go through that, but he's he's just a lovable person on top of the fact that he went through that story. Matthew Stafford is a great family man. His wife, lovely people. They're so giving to their community. They're just this picture perfect, perfect-esque family. And she went through cancer. She beat cancer. That was really strong. That was really difficult for Stafford and his family to deal with. And having to overcome all those struggles and keep his eye on the football field to be able to do what he's done, unbelievable. And yeah, he's also, I said it during the Gamecast, and I probably will in the Super Bowl one, is that he's just the grittiest football player. And I don't mean the guy that will hit you the hardest or the most hard pounding or even rough and tough. I'm talking about grittiest, as that guy has the heart of a lion. He does not. He wants to be on that field no matter how much pain he is in, no matter how tough the odds are against him. He wants to play every second on that field, every drip of blood, every drip of sweat. He leaves on that field and he puts his heart out there. And I love that kind of player. Again, we talk about the time he broke his shoulder bone or shoulder blade, or is it collarbone?
Collarbone, yeah.
But yeah, he broke his collarbone in the game and then threw the game-winning touchdown in that game with a broken collarbone. That's unheard of. And you can see him afterwards. He wasn't celebrating. He was grimacing as he limped over. He had to walk slowly because he was in so much pain. And he just on his way to the sideline, pointing at his shoulder, trying to tell people don't jump on him and stuff. He's just, who does that? And I can't think of anybody other than Matt Stafford. And it's just, I love that kind of player. I love the heart he puts in this game. And I'll have teardrops coming out of my eyes if I get to see him crying over the Lombardi trophy that he's holding up for the first time, because he's going to cry, and his wife is going to be up there holding him and crying as well. And that's a moment I want to live to see.
Me too. And we welcome in Paul Sports Comedy to the show. Welcome. Great. He does his shows regularly every week, and be sure to tune into that, of course. But I agree with you, Ryan, and I think that the NFL is a league that you can suffer. Obviously, suffer. You're making millions of dollars, and you have the privilege to play in the NFL. Blah blah blah. But but you can still suffer for a long time in the league, in the sense that you never have an opportunity to be in the right situation to experience any postseason success, let alone Super Bowls or winning Super Bowls. And in a league where, exactly. And that's the thing. And I feel bad. I know there's Schadenfreude is a term where you take pleasure in other people's suffering. And I guess I only do that I only do that for a select few athletes or I guess we all do for the athletes that we root against, but for the athletes that I root for or have nothing against, I don't want to see them suffer. I want to see them succeed. I want to see them have equal opportunities to succeed as the ones that we praise, like the Bradys, the Rodgers, the Mannings, and all that. And I want to see that for Matthew Stafford after 12 years in Detroit. And so here's some stats for you, Ryan. So, and for y'all in the chat as well. But yeah, just appreciate you listening in there, Paul Sports. And even though you can't talk, but yeah, just join us. Vrabel Coach of the Year. That's an update from the award ceremony. That is an interesting choice, Mike Vrabel as Coach of the Year, because for the regular season, yes, but for how the Titans went one done in the playoffs. I know it's based on the season, not the playoffs, but which maybe it could be different. But anyway. Going back to Stafford, though, thanks for that update. And yeah, Cooper Kupp, Offensive Player of the Year. That's more than worth it. We'll get into Cooper Kupp in a little bit. But so Matthew Stafford is 12th all-time in passing yards. He is 12th all-time in passing touchdowns. He is 5th all-time in fourth quarter comebacks, 7th in game-winning drives, and is the fastest to reach 45,000 yards passing. If Matthew Stafford wins this Super Bowl, does he get considered for the Hall of Fame if he retires? Or when he retires?
Unquestionably. I think he'll make it. I don't know. I don't know if I'd go as far as full first ballot, but I have no doubt that he will make that Hall of Fame if he can pull in the Super Bowl win. He's already to be considered for it, especially with the stats you just named here. Like, these are stats that are Hall of Famers put up.
Yeah.
So
he just put them up in Detroit, which is why no one cares about him until now.
It's true. It's true. Well, he also had Megatron on his side, which really helps you with those things. But Megatron's a Hall of Famer.
Oh yeah.
Right? Or
but Ryan, let me ask you. I want to ask you in our chat this though. If obviously, look, Megatron is Megatron for a reason, and he is just Calvin Johnson. I think is if I were to create a wide receiver on Madden, it would be Calvin Johnson with his height, with his speed, with his strength, with his catch radius, with his leap of jumping, everything. 99 overall, everything. And that's why I think if he played longer, he could have maybe not caught Jerry Rice, but cemented himself as a top 2 wide receiver of all time. But with that being said, though, Matthew Stafford, I think, has a lot to do with that. The same way that Matthew Stafford has a lot to do with Cooper Kupp being a Triple Crown winner at wide receiver. Do you agree or disagree?
He also, yeah, absolutely. And also on that note,
Paul Sports Comedy's letting us know that Kupp just won Offensive Player of the Year. In my opinion, Kupp should be considered for MVP, but it's been a long time since we've seen a wide receiver or any non-QB position actually win that. I doubt it's going to happen, but I'd love to see him win MVP. Who do you think it's going to be? They haven't announced it yet, right?
I have not announced it yet. No. We are going to find out again. We'll keep you up to date as much as possible on that. But now I want to turn the page to, or flip things over to now Joe Burrow. And I have a question for, again, you, Ryan, and our chat here that I want you to think about. If Joe Burrow wins the Super Bowl, how do we measure him against Patrick Mahomes?
Joe Burrow does. I can't yet. I know I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, and I have been so far through the playoffs. I mentioned earlier that I would actually take Justin Herbert over Joe Burrow if I had the opportunity to, and I think I still have that opinion. But if he wins the Super Bowl, it's gonna stay. I think it really shows how much we've cemented this new era of quarterbacks for the NFL. With Tom Brady leaving now and Aaron Rodgers really being the last guy on the list. Once Aaron Rodgers leaves, that great era of quarterbacks is all gone, and we are fully in the brand new era of young superstars in the making. And Mahomes isn't even a superstar in the making anymore. He's just a superstar. But I mean, I guess Matt Ryan's still around too, so I guess you could consider him there too. But that's a debatable one. But I'm not convinced he's at that level yet. I know it sounds harsh, but he's what this team has done as a whole is incredible, and Joe Burrow's a large part of that. Don't get me wrong. Probably, obviously, I'd argue the most important part of the team that's been doing this. But to put him on the line, like on the magnitude of Patrick Mahomes, who's made the Super Bowl 2 out of his 4 years as a starting quarterback, I don't think that's fair. And the first year was his rookie campaign, like that he didn't make it. So I just don't think it's a fair comparison yet. Joe Burrow's got a lot to prove, and if he could replicate this season with next year, not even necessarily make it a Super Bowl, but just put up the stats he was this year, then we could start really considering him in that echelon of Patrick Mahomes. But as of right now, I know he beat him, but I'm not convinced yet.
So now I want to talk about each position and which team has the advantage in this matchup. So at quarterback, if you had to choose, just straight up, Joe Burrow or Matthew Stafford, which team has the advantage at quarterback?
This is the hardest position for me to analyze here. I think I take Matthew Stafford. Yeah, like Joe Burrow's young, and he's made mistakes in the playoffs already. So is Stafford. Don't get me wrong. This one's just like as close as it gets, though, in all of these positions. But I think I take the Rams here with Matthew Stafford.
I'm going to disagree with you because I think that if Joe Burrow was with Sean McVay and with that offensive system, he would be even better than Matthew Stafford. I'm not putting. I don't mean to put down Matthew Stafford in any way because I've praised him so much, but I still think that if Joe Burrow was in this Rams system, he would just take it to a whole other level. And I agree. Like, we're also talking about this Mahomes and Burrow thing. We have a big Mahomes fan in the chat, and I agree. Go Rams, indeed. But I think that I would give the advantage to Joe Burrow because of just more proven abilities in championship games than Matthew Stafford, and especially recently. So now, weapons. Let's talk about offensive weapons. Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham Jr., Tyler Higbee, Van Jefferson, Cam Akers, and Sony Michel on the Rams side versus Jamar Chase, Rookie of the Year Jamar Chase, obviously Offensive Player of the Year Cooper Kupp, versus Chase, Higgins, Tyler Boyd, CJ Uzama, who is likely going to play, Joe Mixon, and Samaje Perine. Which group of weapons do you take and why?
Well, let's divide this into, if you don't mind.
And welcome in M. Polanski as well.
Let's go wide receivers, running backs, and the rest. All right. So I think it's a pretty clear answer at running back. Wide receiver. Actually, running back as well. But I think you have to take the Rams at wide receiver, and because if you're going to say, okay, let's look at their number one guy each, Cooper Kupp versus Jamar Chase.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Who do you take, Cooper Kupp or Jamar Chase?
Cooper Kupp. I mean, he had the Triple Crown. Don't get me wrong, Jamar Chase is like still one of the top 5 receivers this year. Like, if you're going to say who are the best receivers in football, you have to put Jamar Chase as the number one in the top 5, just if you're looking at this one specific year. But Cooper Kupp has done this crazy, like put up crazy numbers in the past, and he won the Triple Crown, something we haven't seen in how long? Ever? So I don't know how you could take somebody that didn't literally dominate in all the stats you use as a metric. If you're saying long-term who's going to be better, okay, I can understand you might have an argument for Jamar Chase here. Look what he's done in his rookie campaign. But it's Cooper Kupp, guys. And then if you're going to look at the number 2 guy, you either say it's Higbee or Boyd, whatever. Let's say I'd take Higbee there, actually, stat-wise especially, versus Odell. It's Odell. They're both actually similar player types, but Odell is just better at everything. So it's Odell. And then if you're looking at their third guy, Van Jefferson versus Tyler Boyd, that one's the closest one. I think I actually take Van Jefferson, but Tyler Boyd has an argument there.
Van
So
Jefferson
it's
is a
pretty clear
deep
to me
threat.
that wide receiver.
He's just more of like a deep threat.
I know. Yeah, it's true. He is, and we haven't seen him in these playoffs a lot. They haven't been utilized since Odell's been here. Van Jefferson hasn't been utilized very much, but the argument, I guess, is why you don't need him to, because other people are catching the ball efficiently. So I absolutely give it to. I give this one easily to LA. Running back. Clearly the other end as well. So it's Mixon. Mixon's a much better running back than Cam Akers is right now. Arguably, I think will ever be. I don't think Cam Akers is not going to be ever going to be on the level of Joe Mixon. And although you do have those there's Sony Michel, and I've been talking up McKinnon. Oh, sorry, McKinnon's okay. That's Kansas City. Who am I blanking on right now? From the freaking. Anyways, Sonny Michel and Cam Akers are a great 1-2 punch, but they're not. I should say they're a good 1-2 punch. They're not a great 1-2 punch. Joe Mixon's an incredibly talented running back. Does it all in the backfield and the catching game. Absolutely give this one to the Bengals. Tight end. How is Umezawa doing? Is he coming?
I think CJ Uzama's playing. By the way, also Paul Sports Comedy would take Cooper Kupp Offensive Player of the Year and most yardage and touchdowns, I guess, over Jamar Chase. And so M. Polanski is from St. Louis, and I guess she is still disappointed in the Rams moving, so that's why she kind of wants to see them lose. But she thinks the Rams will win. So I just want to point that out for M. Polanski there.
That's fair. It's it's a little bitter for the heart there. I get it.
So far, just so you know, Ryan, I am keeping score, by the way. So far you have 2 advantages to the Rams and 1 to the Bengals. I got 1 to the Bengals. Yeah. I have 1 to the Rams, 2 to the Bengals thus far, because I would take quarterback Joe Burrow over Stafford, and I would take the running backs that the Bengals have in Perine and Mixon over what the Rams have. Also consider this, how bad the the Bengals offensive line is, and Joe Mixon was still able to finish 3rd in rushing in that situation. So
well, this is fair. I think when it comes to the line, let's include tight ends in the line. Is Higbee back? Do we know?
Higbee, I believe, is going to play.
Then you have to take the Rams on that one. Then O-line's better overall, and the tight end, I take Higbee over Uzama, even though he's doing well, Uzama, but Higbee's more of an established tight end. So I have 3-1 on the Rams here, and I'm guessing you're 2-1, or now you're tied 2-2. So it comes down to the defensive side of the ball. And I mean, I don't think there's any debate on the D line. It is unquestionably I don't think anybody's going to make the argument about Cincinnati having a better D line than.
You kind of can. You can. Well, you can. I'm not saying I'm not saying that's the case, but I'm saying that it's not. I don't think it's completely like the Rams' defensive line is dominant. But Sam Hubbard and Trey Hendrickson are pretty darn good for the Bengals as well. It's not like they're
Von Miller and Aaron Donald.
Yes, I know, but also Sam Hubbard and Trey Hendrickson have had some really strong seasons and have been really productive in these playoffs as well. So,
but all the stats that even Trey Hendrickson doesn't have the stats. Von Miller has.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm just being Ryan.
Donald,
I agree with you. I'm just being different.
All right, I gotcha. Yes. I gotcha. All right, you are. That's fair.
So hang on. So we are saying just trying to keep up, and also just offensive line. I want to talk about offensive line for a sec because Andrew Whitworth played 10 years in Cincinnati, and he is starting his 2nd Super Bowl at the Rams at 40 years old. At left tackle.
It's crazy. And playing amazing still as well.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And I think we can both agree that we
40 years old.
I think we could both agree that we take the Rams offensive line over the Bengals offensive line. We could probably jot that down. So there you go. All right. So now let's get into the defensive side of things. So look,
Rams defensive line, Rams secondary, Rams.
Well-
it's Rams all around for me.
hang on. So defensive. So yes, defensive front. I say Rams. Linebacker, I would say. I would probably say. I think Bengals maybe for linebacker.
I mean,
overall front, I guess, yeah, you could say, okay, whatever. I'm not going to be able to keep track of all this as well, but as I thought I would. But either way, yeah. So I say defensive front overall, yes, the Rams. But the secondary, though, outside of Jalen, like, what are the Rams without Jalen Ramsey?
Well, Fuller's back, right? Fuller's back for this coming game, right? Jordan Fuller? Or am I wrong?
I'm not sure.
I thought he was coming back. I apologize. Oh, Taylor Rapp is, though.
Taylor Rapp's coming back. Taylor Rapp should be back, yes.
Yeah, so now you got that. Now you have Ramsey and Rapp. And, I mean, again, Weddle's going to still get snaps. But
Jordan Fuller is not coming back, by the way.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate.
So,
I mean, Darius Williams, like, did I say Jalen Ramsey at safety? Whatever. I'm a big dumbhead. But like, I still think that I still give the secondary to LA here, and I think it's pretty telling that I think LA is going to win the Super Bowl, given all these things to put together. But
we have a couple.
Yeah, I got LA all around.
I would
all around, other than running back.
I might lean towards Cincy in the secondary, honestly, just because Chido Awuzie, Mike Hilton, Von Bell, Jesse Bates.
They're playing well. They've been playing very well.
And also Eli Apple hasn't been a complete liability. So I think that like their whole...
No, he has, but has then followed the play that he messes up drastically with an interception in back-to-back games.
Exactly. So
back-to-back games.
So the way I still see it, I still see it though, for in terms of the secondaries, is kind of like the way the Rams are constructed with their whole team. They have one of the best players at the cornerback position, but then kind of above average at best at safety and corner without Fuller. And with Taylor Rapp back in there, love Taylor. Taylor Rapp's a good player, but he's not a world beater at safety, I wouldn't think.
No.
But whereas I feel like the Bengals have a lot more balance to their secondary. Chido Awuzie is a second team All Pro, former Cowboy corner as well. But I think they have a little more of a
shout out.
Yeah, exactly. But I think they have just more of a balanced secondary in Cincy than they do in LA. But let's go to special teams, where even though, yes, Evan McPherson has been perfect in these playoffs, Matt Gay had to kick 2 game-winning field goals for the Rams to make it to the Super Bowl as well.
Yeah, I think that people will jump to McPherson when I think it's closer than it sounds, but I think I still give the edge to McPherson. That swagger of Burrow has rubbed off on McPherson, or vice versa, whatever it is. The confidence is oozing out of those two players, and he just hasn't missed. He hasn't missed clutch, difficult kicks, right? So it's hard not to take him. But Matt Gay has been playing exceptionally well as well. So I think it's not runaway, like, in my opinion, the defensive line or the wide receiver categories. But I do give this one to Cincinnati.
I tend to agree. And also, I think Matt Gay missed one in the Bucs game, I want to say.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
so,
yes,
whereas, like you said, Evan McPherson, as a rookie, has been perfect in these playoffs so far. And last but not least, coaching. I think we can agree that Sean McVay, Kevin O'Connell, Raheem Morris give the Rams a little bit more of an advantage than Zach Taylor, Brian Callahan, and Lou Anarumo give the Bengals.
Yeah, again, every time I think, hey, man, Zach Taylor, honestly, he's starting to grow on me. He just took some stupid decision and then just throws it down the window.
Well, you're the one that
you're
the one that called them a poo-poo head in the Chiefs game.
I did
for the first half.
I did. They made the adjustments. I gotta give them credit to making the adjustments. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs did bite themselves, shoot themselves in the foot, but nonetheless, the adjustments were made. You gotta give them credit on that. Still, I can't be convinced though yet. I cannot be convinced, and I'm not like this is Sean McVay's second Super Bowl out of what 4 years of coaching.
Yeah.
So
17.
yeah,
Go ahead.
fifth year. Yeah, fifth year. But
5 years, second
still,
Super Bowl in 5 years of coaching.
Yeah, it's insane, especially for his age. Got to give him credit. Definitely taking Sean McVay.
Now I want to ask, what will be the one matchup that decides Super Bowl 56? What is the one, whether it's Stafford versus the Bengals defense and defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo, or Joe Burrow against Raheem Morris, or the trench battles, or Odell Beckham and Cooper Kupp against the Bengals secondary, or the other way around with Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins going up against Ramsey and the Rams secondary. Which matchup do you think will decide Super Bowl 56?
I have to give it to Joe Burrow versus the defensive line of LA. If Joe Burrow could find ways to make miracle plays and get out of the grasp of Aaron Donald or Floyd or Von Miller or all the other plethora of threats that they're able to bring, Jalen Ramsey on those corner blitzes, if he's able to get out of the grasp, not out of the way. It's not realistic to assume that he's going to be able to just evade pressure, but literally get out of being held by the defensive line and make a play. I think that's what it comes down to. He has to be able to do that, or else there's no chance that they're going to win the Super Bowl. So I really believe it's going to come down to the D-line versus Joe Burrow. I
like the way you answered that, because it's like Joe Burrow can elevate or make his offensive line look not as bad, because that's basically what you're saying.
And, well, it's actually in two. It's also me just saying it doesn't matter how good your offensive line is against the Rams defensive line. You're gonna get QB pressures, and way more than you would with any other team. You could have the number one line in football, you're still gonna struggle against the Rams defensive line. So I'm saying that but plus no matter what, you're going to have to deal with the fact that Aaron Donald is in your face. Consistently.
But I would say the offensive line for the Bengals is a bit more of a significant matchup than Joe Burrow, because if the Bengals could run the football, then that just makes them more balanced on offense, and that takes away the Rams' ability to just tee off on Joe Burrow. And that's why I think if the Bengals can run the football and their offensive line can not just hold up in the passing game, or not just be a complete disaster and give up 9 sacks in the passing game, because if they give up 9 sacks, the Rams, Stafford and the Rams are going to put up more than 16 points than the Titans put up. So I can almost guarantee that. Oh. But all this to say is, I'm going to say it once. If the Bengals could run the football and become balanced, then they have a chance. But if not, then I don't think Joe Burrow is good enough to win that matchup by himself.
And as you say that, Mike, what I've been thinking about, trying to say, is that neither team is going to be successful at running the football. If any team is going to have a chance to, it's actually going to be the Rams. You can't run the ball on LA. You can't. No bueno. Finito. Not happening. Joe Mixon's very talented. I think he'll be able to, maybe, don't get me wrong, will he have a breakout player too? Maybe. But I think it's going to mostly be coming out of the passing in the backfield, the dump-off passes to him. I think Joe Mixon's a very important part of the game, but it's more in the passing game and his blocking. So that's where I think is. I don't think that Cincinnati's going to be able to run the ball well, and because of it, I don't think they're going to win this matchup.
It worked out well for the Bengals so far with those short passes out of the backfield. Again, one of which led to a 40-plus yard touchdown to Samaje Perine in the AFC Championship. Ryan, we talked about this for about an hour now. What are your final predictions? I know I mentioned Rams before. I think you also mentioned Rams, but now let's get to the meat and potatoes of your predictions. How do you envision Super Bowl 56 play out? And once again, in the chat, leave us your predictions if you haven't already.
I have the Los Angeles Rams winning the Super Bowl 31-24.
And the Super Bowl MVP is not going to be Matthew Stafford. It is not going to be Cooper Kupp. And it's not going to be Aaron Donald. It is going to be, for the second time, Von Miller. I think Von Miller is going to show up. He's going to get another strap sack fumble, and he's going to find a way to get in the end zone again. And I think Von Miller, this is a bold prediction, but Von Miller is going for the second time be a Super Bowl MVP as a defensive lineman.
Bold.
Just like he did against Cam Newton and those unstoppable Carolina Panthers back in, what year was it?
2016.
Whenever it was. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so, and yes, and Mike, I had the bold prediction of saying Von Miller was going to be the Super Bowl MVP that year, and I was correct. So I'm saying I'm going for it again. I'm doubling down. The bet line's probably beautiful on it. I think that's my prediction. That's what I'm saying.
My prediction isn't as lofty as yours, but that will just mean that if you're right and I'm wrong, then you look a lot more smart than me, but that's okay, because a lot of the times a lot of people look more smart than me, and that's okay. Either way, I'm gonna say that it's gonna be 30. This is what I'm on record of saying, so I'm gonna stick with it. 30-21 for the Rams. It is 23-21 late, but the Rams are driving the ball. They're picking up first downs, and they score a late touchdown with about 4 or 5 minutes left to take the lead 30-21. And the Bengals, that's where I guess you could say Aaron Donald or Von Miller comes in on like a 3-minute drive with the Bengals getting the ball last. But they turn it over on downs because of a sack or two on Joe Burrow, and they run out of time, and Matthew Stafford takes 3 knees, and the Rams win the Super Bowl. Before that, though, Matthew Stafford throws for 3 touchdowns, 2 of which to Cooper Kupp, but still the MVP goes to Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, I got Stafford throwing 2 touchdowns, 1 to Cooper Kupp and 1 to Odell Beckham Jr. And then I also have Sony Michel sneaking in for a touchdown as well.
I like it. Well, Ryan, this was a fun hour, and I look very much forward to calling Super Bowl 56 with you on Sunday.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, and if you're in the chat now, please be there. We're in the Super Bowl finals, baby. We're in the finals. We love your support so far. Please help us get that crown. We want to take home a Super Bowl title just as much as Matthew Stafford does. Okay, maybe not that much, but definitely really want to.
Yes, and also Rams by 7 points, 29-22 is user Ivanka's prediction. So we're all Rams here, it looks like, except for M. Polanski from St. Louis, who, just like all of St. Louis, hates the Rams. So I feel for you. Don't worry. As a Montreal fan of baseball, and we lost our Expos, I'm still, I take after my dad's bitterness over that. But either way, from Ryan Silver, the Silver Lining, I'm Mike Langer. I've been your host, and thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for over 2,000 likes. Also, I forgot to mention that as well.
Thank you for all the love.
But thank you so much for tuning in, and sorry, I'm Polanski, and we look forward to seeing you all on Sunday.
See you there soon, guys. Cheers.